Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast, brought to you by Swing Juice. Visit swingjuice.com. Use promo code Beehive20 for 20% off your golf and MLB PA apparel. Tonight's show, a lot to get to. We're going to start in the buzz with some local shout-outs. We're going to talk a little bit about Wimbledon and some news that came out of their their tournament coming up. And then Sketty and I are going to hate on each other for a while about Deebo Samuel. In sports history, we're going to look at the tumultuous past of Mike Tyson. He's been a frequent on sports history for his arrests and in the year we did the 5 facts. He was coming up all the time. So I'm actually going to list off some of those a little bit more. In the things that sting, we're going to talk more about Mike Tyson and his most recent incident, which is what kind of spurned him being in the sports history segment as well. More Timberwolves protest. A Kingston, Massachusetts family sues a country club and is awarded $5 million. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. And then the rundown, I got about 5 more stories, everything from another incident with fans being flipped off to a Zamboni driver getting fired, all sorts of stuff in there. And then in my hive, we're going to announce the NFL draft contest, major giveaway, lots of prizes. I was just showing them to Sketty. So we're going to, hold those up for everybody to see, and then as well as discuss the rules. And then we're going to do our own top 5 mock draft, as well as get to the comments that were on the Facebook post. Let's go.
Welcome to the Beehive Sports Podcast. Here are your hosts, Joe and Sketty.
Everybody, thanks for joining us on this shitty night in northwestern Pennsylvania. Disclaimer, I already lost power once. It's not even doing anything outside. Apparently in North Warren, there's some sort of, there was an electrical emergency, it said on Pulse Point. I don't know what the hell's happening, but we lost power for about 10 minutes. If we lose power and it's for an extended period of time, we are going to be rerouting, calling an audible, and doing the show Wednesday night. But we're going to try and get as much in as we can in the meantime, and just see how that goes. The opening buzz is brought to you by Busch Light. Busch Light also sponsoring the NFL draft contest that we're going to be hosting. It's going to start tonight, actually. But after my hive, when we explain the rules and everything, how to enter, how to win, all of that, that's when we'll be putting a post up on the Facebook page for everybody to follow the rules that'll be posted and get your entry in for the draft. It's going to be only the first round, so it'll be Thursday night, but we'll get to all the rules and stuff for that. Hope everybody had a beautiful weekend. Sketty, did you go to Bentfest?
I did. Actually, Mumford gave me a shirt to wear, and I had to call the audible to the Deebo jersey tonight. But spent a lot of time in his booth. He had some pretty good stuff. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to butcher what it is. The strawberry, vodka lemonade thing that he had in the can was super big hit. Everyone I talked to loved it. The girls really, really liked it. He was making me gin and tonics by the end, so little hazy if there's any more details that he gave me to share with people. I was a little too
Walls started closing in a little bit.
Oh yeah, the walls were closed in pretty good by the end of the night.
So we sold 0 golf towels, and you were there the entire time.
I kept asking him if I had to go to work, and he goes, "Yeah, you're going to have to go to work on Sunday." I said, "Shit." I thought we'd be rich by now.
How did you not promote and sell any if you were there?
I wasn't hanging out at the booth trying to sell towels. I was drinking. I was a man on a mission. And
I feel like that would be your best zone to be selling shit though.
I know. I should have been
If
on
you
top
can,
of it.
if you
Wasn't
can
thinking
sell,
about it.
if you can sell $7 chocolate milks at Peppermill, then you should be able to sell
That
a
is
golf towel for $10.
that is very, very true. I did tell him I was going to just start grabbing some and throwing them out to people, and then people be like, "Hey, where'd you get that?"
Yeah, you could
Should
have.
have
I
done it.
mean, I wouldn't have hated that idea, but yeah.
Should have
So it was a nice weekend, and now what? Tomorrow or Wednesday, it's supposed to be like 30 again.
Wednesday they're saying snow. Yeah.
So 80 the last 2 days. This is
Yep.
North. It's so dumb. It's just ridiculous.
Yep.
All right. Let's get rolling into the buzz. We have local shout outs we're going to start with. I got actually a pretty decent list. Couple rants, couple shout outs, mix of a few things. Going to start out with the 4 junior bowlers from Youngsville were they qualified for the PA State USBC State Championships. That's Allison Pete, Connor X, Stephen Rex, and last but certainly not least, Casey Anderson. So Casey Anderson is the niece of Josh, who is a avid listener of our show. I saw him post that on his Facebook page, and I said, I'll absolutely give a shout out to Casey. She's already won $105 in scholarship money, which is more money than we made selling golf towels because Sketty's a terrible salesman. And so she's in the girls 110 and under handicap. She finished first place. So basically this state tournament is an opportunity for all these kids to win more scholarship money. So that's awesome that they can get that rolling at an early age. If there's anybody who can tell you how expensive college is, it's the guy who was on the 5-year plan. Had a great time though.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
A great time in college. So yeah, shout out to all 4 of them and specifically Casey. Well done and good luck at the state tournament. Warren softball. Now I believe they played tonight, and I don't know the outcome of the game, so I might be delayed in saying this, but as of yesterday, they were unbeaten, and they're like hitting bombs.
Hitting bombs. Okay.
Yeah, they got some serious power on this team, apparently. I've been reading about it. Talked to Timmy the other night. Me and him golfed together. He told me that, yeah, they got some girls who can hit the long ball. So Alana Stewart, one of them, obviously. And the other one being Hallie Kosminski, who hit a dinger the other night too. So that was like in like back-to-back games. I think Hallie's was first and then Alana's was second. But they're just smoking the ball. Of course, they got Mead as their coach. Well, Carissa Stewart now, but she's a fantastic coach. And I actually watched her playing in the girls' league years ago, like the Valley. Remember when they had the Valley girls slow pitch?
Yep.
She was a beast in that, and so is her sister, who lives up in Erie and is actually married to a buddy of mine, Rick Krause. So those 2 girls were phenomenal athletes, and now she's taken over, the helm. Of course, they have Kelsey playing at Penn State Du Bois, who she's going to come on the show here once her season's done, talk a little bit about how that went. And but they're just, the Warren softball's looking like the real deal. So it'll be fun to watch them as long as they get their games in because, they get like 2 practices a week. They're able to actually get in before it's snowing again for whatever reason. But next up, Rachel Wilson actually held a lead at the PSAC championships going into Sunday. Didn't have her best round, finished tied for second at the PSAC championships. She lost by 1 stroke. She golfs for Cal U. I didn't see how the Vulcans finished as a team on the team overall, but what an outing for her. I mean, what a great weekend for Rachel. Nothing to be ashamed of, tied for second out of a pretty large field. And I actually spoke with her and she told me that she'll be returning next year for she has another year of eligibility because of the COVID season.
Oh, okay.
So she's not done. She's got another crack at it. And obviously she's a really, really good golfer. So hopefully next year she can, get over the hump and win that tournament. So that'd be a huge victory for her. And, all of Warren would be really proud of her as well. Next up, big Will Nobinski. Kid I play basketball with. I play with Bill. His dad's a good friend of mine. And Will plays basketball with us. Will made the roster for the New York PA Corporate Cup Soccer Showcase. Okay. He told me he told me I should do a podcast from it. And I said, Will, I would absolutely do that if people actually liked soccer. We mess with each other a lot. Him and I have a really funny relationship because it's just like nothing but picking on each other. But I had told him I didn't tell him I think I told him I wouldn't give him a shout out because that's just the way the humor goes. But obviously he's going to get one. He's a great kid, good athlete, and wish him the best of luck for this showcase. I think he's already made plans to play collegiate soccer. So, we'll see how that goes moving forward for him. Next up, Katie Krogler, my coworker, Michelle. She's one of our administrators, and the police department would absolutely be I think my opinion's completely lost without her. She gets all our case folders prepped, keeps us in line. It's like the team mom. But her daughter, Katie, great girl. She's a freshman and lettered in swimming already as a freshman, which is awesome. And on top of that, she actually received the team sportsmanship award. So Michelle said a lot of tears were shed at the ceremony they had. I think it was yesterday. So a shout out to Katie. Keep up the good work. She's like another great kid who has a real bright future with swimming, and hopefully she can, turn that into some college money as well. I always root for that because, like I said, it's expensive.
Yeah.
So all of them, congrats to everybody who we just named. I just wanted to shout all those people out. So I did say I had one rant, and we're going to do that now. I saw this posted today by Your Daily Local, probably late afternoon. So Youngsville baseball had a game tonight, but they couldn't get it going because they needed one more PIAA ref. So a post was put out. They were reaching out to all these. Did I say ref? I meant umpire. Did I say ref?
I think you said ump. You said ump.
I feel like I said, I don't know. Yeah, me neither. But anyways, they needed an umpire to complete the team of umps, and they couldn't get one in time. They even offered extra money for the short notice and all this stuff. So I saw the post, and Eddie Duranda, who coaches Youngsville, said that they had to scrap the game, postpone it for a later date. And it just immediately struck me conversations we've had with Hagberg, on the things that sting. We talked about that, the female ump down in Mississippi who got punched in the face by a parent in the parking lot. And you just have to assume that a lot of this shortage for that specific area and sport, sports officials in general, not just baseball, is because of parents. And it just is super frustrating and annoying to me that people are such assholes that you can't, it's a kid's sport.
Right.
I just don't, I don't know. You have anything to add to that?
Yep. No, I mean, I agree with you. The kids are going to suffer because of this, but parents being assholes, and that's going to happen. Who wants to deal with that shit? Especially, I don't know what they get paid, but it can't be enough to deal with that bullshit.
Yeah, and that's what I think. And I think Brian has mentioned things before to us on the show. And maybe that's something we should look into a future My Hive segment about, is trying to round up 3 or 4 officials for PIAA and that, even Little League. I'm not going to count Betts Park, slow pitch, that kind of thing, because But so Brian, actually, Hagberg's in the comments. He says they're able to get the game in tomorrow night at 5 p.m. at Iroquois. So that's good. At least they, got somebody in line, but it's still just insane that even happens. I don't recall that ever being an issue. But if you listen, I think it was today on the radio, I heard an ad for hey, we have plenty of athletes. We need more officials. But it's these people don't want to put themselves out there, because then they just get bitched at by parents from the stands for, whatever, a bad call or in a Little League game. And it's just, that to me is just mind boggling. You're ruining your kids' love for the game. And that, I think that's something, we could go down a whole another route about. In the one sports psychology class that I had taken, that was one of the things that we focused on, was what stops athletes from loving their sport at a young age. And the primary driving force is parents. You do embarrassing shit like that, people are gonna find a way to quit loving what they're doing. So, but I think that's an idea for a future segment. You like that?
It, yeah.
Get some umps in and just have them tell some stories about how, things that they've experienced and just so we can get a better idea of how insane it actually is. Yep. Moving on, quick professional shout out. Miguel Cabrera, 3,000, becomes the 33rd player with 3,000 hits, 7th all time to have 3,000 hits and 500 home runs. So that's quite the accomplishment. I mean, he's joining. He's joining Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Rafael Palmeiro, Albert Pujols, A-Rod, and Eddie Murray. If you saw the Yankee hate that was going around online, he had a chance at 3,000 in the 8th inning of a game. He was stuck on, 2,999, and they intentionally walked him. Of course, it was for the benefit of trying to win. Like, I don't blame them for that, really.
Yeah.
A lot of people were like, But the cool thing was the night before, when he had a chance, no, he didn't have a chance at it. He got to 29.99, and they said to him, what are your thoughts? Like post game, they're like, how awesome is it that you're on the cusp of 3,000? And he's like, I don't give a fuck. We lost the game.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And that's the kind of guy he is, though, and that's what I love about Miggy. And another thing too, if you haven't ever done this, just YouTube Miguel Cabrera, funny moments on the field. He's hilarious. He's got a lot of character to him. Interacts with fans and.
Yeah, I think you were on this last year. You're always talking about it. Don't think I've done it yet, but.
Miggy's videos.
Yeah,
they're funny. They're hilarious. So if you ever get a chance, check them out. Wimbledon. So Wimbledon makes an announcement that they are banning players from Russia and Belarus. This has had several mixed reviews from fans and a lot of prominent tennis names, one being Billie Jean King. So basically, they started out with two trains of thought. They had two ideas. One was they can play, but they have to publicly denounce Putin. And the other one was an outright ban. Just, we're not even going to do anything with it. And that's what they chose. Billie Jean King is not happy about this because she said when the tennis associations were formed specifically for women, she was saying that the idea behind it was that no matter where you're from or what your background is, if you can play at a high level, you'll have a place to compete. And so what are your thoughts on this move here?
I personally, I kind of got to agree with old Billie Jean. It just doesn't sit right with me. It's not like these players are out there, on the front line shooting people. Like, what do you want to do? Denounce Putin? That puts. I'm assuming they have families in Russia. It's going to put your family in danger. I mean, the guy's kind of a psycho. I get what they're trying to do, but Putin's not going to stop the war because you ban these players. I let them play. Let them. They need a distraction over there. There's nothing they can do. They are powerless in the situation.
And that's how that's how I feel too. I mean, I couldn't name you one Russian tennis player. I don't think.
No.
Either way, what, like you said, what power do they have? And clearly, it's not gonna. This is not gonna do anything to. It's not a preventive measure.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's not anything that's gonna help the situation. So what's the point? If they can play and go into what you said with the denouncing thing, it would absolutely put them and their families in danger.
Yeah.
That they're all insane over there. So it's just, to me, it's what? Yeah, I am not on board with that move. I'm glad that there's actually some, bigger name tennis players who are speaking out against it too. For just the fact of the matter that, that's their tennis family. It doesn't matter what country you're from. They're all in the same, clique kind of deal. And It is what it is. But so, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. But the good stuff right here. Debo's future. So to lay a foundation for everybody, Sketty and I have been in a texting battle about this since what day?
I don't know what day your hot, terrible garbage take started.
Dude.
I don't recall what day it
was.
But
all right, so here's what it was.
Still the worst take of all time.
You still think it is, but I corrected what I meant by it. No, I don't.
You
no. Yeah, let me tell everybody what
you won't bet the $50. We got a bet on the table, and you're afraid to take it because and I know Debo ain't going anywhere.
You hope Debo's not going anywhere. That's all you're hanging on to. You're fanboying this, and I'm looking at it
there's no hope about it because if Debo does go someplace, it's going to be because somebody gave up an absolute quarterback amount worth of picks to the 49ers. So if
somebody offers that, why wouldn't you take it?
They're not going to do it. No chance. No one is going to do. It's not going to happen. But anyway, go on. We'll get into it.
Laying the foundation here. Laying the foundation. Debo scrubs his social media, which is becoming a common thing. That doesn't tell any story anymore, I don't think. That was like a thing a few years ago that people would do when they were serious about wanting away. Now it's more like a message sender, which I think it's hilarious that people put any stock into that at all. But then Debo and his agent are in negotiations with the Niners, and the news breaks that Debo is stopping negotiations, doesn't want to negotiate anymore. That to me is a bad sign. That's not a sign of somebody who wants to figure some stuff out. You think it means
nothing.
Okay.
It's you.
Then the news breaks that Debo wants a trade, and following that, what happened was it yesterday or the day before where they're at a club somewhere, I don't know where, but a guy's carrying around a sign that says Debo stays in San Fran, and the camera pans over to Debo and he gives that's like banned in the NFL, isn't it? On the field. Oh no, this is.
But so apparently you don't pay as much attention to the news as I do, but the owner of the club came out and said, No. I was sitting with Debo all night. Debo was doing that to the waitress. They just caught him on camera doing it.
Oh,
they were trying to bring another tray of drinks.
Dude, you would believe.
So that's the owner of the club saying it.
Who is that? Is his name Abraham Lincoln? Did you read that online too?
I think his name's Martinelli. Martinelli is the name of the guy. His club.
I have never seen anybody in such a denial that a guy doesn't want to play somewhere.
I'm telling you right now, I told you $50 bet and you wouldn't take it because you said if he's not playing week 1, it doesn't matter. You don't think he's going to ever be a Niner again. I offered B. I never
said he's not going to be a Niner again.
He's going to be a 49er. He's going to be a 49er this year. He will be on the field this year. The media is just horrible. Everybody's bored right now, so they are latching onto this and
They're
making it 100 times
bigger. They got the draft.
And you got idiots out there, 49ers fans, bashing on this dude saying, oh, he's only had one great year. Oh, he's hurt. Yeah. You're all going to look like dumbasses when Debo's on the field this year. I got receipts on everybody. I'm slandering the fuck out of everybody once the deal is signed. Everybody's on the list.
How many Niners fans do you know?
Oh, I just been on the message boards. Just waiting, saving. Commenting so I can come back and say, oh, no, delete all your Debo shit because you guys said he was gone. Screw him. He's not a team player. We don't need him. Yeah, we do need him. That's a fact. But as I told you, why would Debo want out? And no one's been able to give me an answer. Debo keeps tweeting and Instagram posting cryptic shit, and then he takes it down like immediately after. Like, I swear, and I've told you this has been my theory the whole time, his agent's up to some funny business to try and get him more money.
Nah.
That's all this is. That's all this is he wants more money.
Dude,
why would he want to leave?
This would be the dumbest move by an agent ever. Halt negotiations. He can hold out for more money. He can hold out for more money without having to do all this extra stuff. I think
they want the message to be clear that they're serious. They think that the 49ers, and again, you can be down the rabbit hole on this for
You're
days.
super far down the rabbit hole on this.
There's maybe 3 more successful organizations since Debo Samuel has come into the league than the 49ers. So he's not going to go to a better situation.
They rarely do.
The Rams have enough.
When do they ever?
Okay, so now you're going to say it's about money, but the reports keep coming out that the Niners are willing to pay him whatever he wants. So it's not about the money.
Well,
okay.
So you believe those reports, but you don't believe the ones where he says he doesn't want to be there anymore.
Well, no,
right,
I'm saying
so we're cherry picking. We're cherry picking.
There's contradictory reports the whole way around this. People say it's the money. Well, Debo hasn't said anything. Debo has not even come out and said, I want to trade. You can say, oh, that reporter says, well, he told me. Well, where the fuck's Debo at saying, yep, we want to trade? Now, Lynch has said
he doesn't need to. When does a guy ever break his own news? That hardly ever happens. They tell somebody.
I'm telling you, it ain't going to happen. And John Lynch came out today and said, I don't envision any scenario where we move on from Debo Samuel. So unless somebody and this is the one way that Debo Samuel gets traded from the 49ers, is if somebody comes up and offers something absolutely ridiculously fucking stupid for him. Like if the Jets come out and say, hey, we're going to give you pick number 10 this year, our first rounder next year in like 2 seconds, then maybe the 49ers would move off of him. But that's not even going to happen because they haven't the 49ers have not given him permission to seek a trade. So what team is going to give that much up without knowing that this guy is going to sign? His agent can't be talking to these teams. That's tampering. Can't do it.
Okay, but you said yourself that he's up to some shady stuff. So how do you know he's not talking to those teams? Because it's against rules.
Right. Well, the problem is that the Jets are doing something, or whoever's doing something. They get busted for that. They'll lose.
Well, if he's reaching out,
have fun trading all your draft picks. I'm just telling you, it ain't gonna happen.
John Lynch's statement today sounds awfully similar to one I heard the Steelers make about one named Le'Veon Bell, who just so happens to be chiming in on this as well, saying,
"I did see Le'Veon.
Yep, I feel you." And okay, so talk about cryptic tweets. Did you see the one with Jamal Adams that Debo put up?
I didn't see that one. No.
Or maybe Debo didn't put it. I can't remember who. I think Debo put it up and then removed it, is what it said. I'll look it up on the break, but I'm pretty confident Debo puts up a text conversation between him and Jamal Adams, and Jamal's saying, I feel you, fuck those fans. So you may have got your answer right there as to why he wants out of there. Maybe the death threats and the rant you went on last week about how ridiculous it was. Maybe that's what's pushing him.
I still don't even buy that's the case, because every fan base is like that. There is not a single fucking fan base anywhere where you're not going to have idiots.
But not every person. Not every person handles that the same. Maybe that's never happened to Debo Samuel before. Maybe he's been loved all through high school. And where'd he go? Clemson?
No, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Wherever he went. Yeah. That's never been the case for him. He's always been revered everywhere he's went.
So let's say that's the case. Niners are just going to say, okay, you're being emotional right now. We'll kick it down the road a little bit. He's going to be a 49er this year. They are going to pay the man. He is going to be a 49er. I bet. You laugh. Bet. Let's bet. I love to put the money on to rub a little more salt in the wound, because he's not going. The Niners have no reason to trade him at all. He's a $4 million cap hit this year. He's a restricted free agent next year if he sits out. There's no reason. Someone would have to make a stupid offer. It would be more than what the Dolphins gave up for Tyreek Hill, which apparently the Jets.
It sounds to me. You want to talk about smoke screens? You want to talk about smoke screens? John Lynch threw out the perfect smoke screen today. Oh, he's not. He's untradeable. He's too good. Can't imagine the scenario. Because what does that do? Well, now we have to come up with a scenario John Lynch will imagine. Here's our offer.
Because they already knew that. The Jets said last week, whoever leaked it from the Jets building, they called and did their due diligence, and they said, yeah, the Niners are not giving them up for anything less than the King's ransom. They knew it last week.
Another report that you choose to believe, despite all the ones that you choose not to believe.
I fully believe he told the team, hey, I don't want to be here, but it's a negotiating tactic. It's not You got to know what level of truth
That's
is
quite
out
the
there in
tactic.
these statements.
Because there's
100%.
also a world where when you tell an employer you don't want to be there anymore, they say, "Oh, all right, well then, yeah, that's not going to help. That's not going to give us more money."
This isn't Tyreek Hill who said, "Hey, this is the number I want," and the Chiefs saying, "Yeah, go ahead and find a trade because we're not giving you that number." That scenario hasn't happened. The Niners have not given his agent permission to seek a trade. So there is
offer then?
What do you mean?
Because the Niners haven't said what they've. You're hearing all speculation, just like everything else.
The speculate, and I've heard different speculations on that as well. Darren brings up a point there. He doesn't want to play, which again could be the agent in his ear, and I don't blame him for this. Look, you can't line the guy up in the backfield and expect him to play the length of a wide receiver's normal career. Like that's hard on the body.
No doubt.
As somebody who's followed this guy, followed him on social media since he's become a 49er, like there were no indications of anything of him being unhappy. My guess, and this is from, again, I'm way down the rabbit hole on this, but from what I understand, the 49ers initial offer was going to be like 19 million base salary. So I'm getting, again, there's no terms on this. There's nothing that's actually released. So the thing to me that makes sense is, okay, he says 19 million base salary, so that's going to be his guaranteed money. He wants $25 million a year, plays running back, knows that plays the wide back, I guess he calls it. Doesn't want to do that because he knows he's going to get hurt. He's going to lose money. My guess is the argument's over what the guaranteed money is. He's trying to say, "Oh, I'm insulted by this offer." You never know how a guy is going to react in these situations. Maybe Debo is
just like you never know how a guy's going to react when he's getting his life threatened.
So we're on air. Let's bet right now. $50. Loser donates to charity of the winner's choice. Let's bet on it. He will be a 49er again.
He'll be a 49er again. So
yeah,
this season.
He will not play for another team. He will be a 49er. He might sit part of this season, but I think by the end of the year he's on the team. But he's not going to play for another team. He will take snaps as a 49er before he takes snaps for any other team.
All right, I'll bet you $50.
Okay, and I go in full well with the understanding that somebody could make a preposterous offer for the guy, and the trade does get done, but it would have to be. I'm thinking
it'd be dumb if the Niners didn't.
I think that they'd have to get the right deal. They're still not.
What a waste for him to sit on the bench all season and not play. And you could have got something for him.
Well, you can still get something for him. You can't go anywhere next year. He's
a restricted free agent.
Yeah.
Right. So that means it means anybody can make an offer. The Niners have to match it.
Yeah, and they could do that and say, okay, yeah, then you can't go anywhere.
I understand that, but that's not to say they're going to. If some team does offer him a giant bag, then they might not match that.
I think they would. I think they would match it and then trade him. That would be what happens. That's what's going to happen.
But then you might make them untradeable because they have to pick up that contract that you just matched.
There's obviously going to be one team. It's awful brave for somebody to go out and say, "Hey, we're going to give you $30 million for Tbsp Samuel." I love Tbsp Samuel.
We know.
Here's another report. Well, no, I mean, the guy's best weapon in the game. But if you're talking like, if this is true, he doesn't want to play that role of running back wide receiver. I think I texted this to you. I don't know that he's a top 15 receiver if he's just playing receiver. If he doesn't do the whatever you want to call it,
stuff
end arounds and line up the backfield.
Sure.
You take that part, and I say that knowing full well that when Ayuk couldn't get on the field and Kittle was injured at the beginning of the year, Debo was second in the league in yards. Only behind Cooper Kupp at like whatever it was.
I think that was the other part of that text conversation with Jamal Adams. He said, "I carried that team to the playoffs."
I mean, he did. He absolutely did. There's no reason for them to nobody's debating what he did. I don't think the Niners are debating. Everything Lynch said today, everything Lynch said before all of this was, we got to get this guy signed. My guess is there's a beef on the guaranteed money. They did this with Kittle. They did this with Warner, where they lowballed him at first and things weren't good and everyone was fucking panicking. and then they came back and made both the guys highest paid players at their positions. I don't think you're going to see Debo at the highest paid player, but they're going to work something out, whether it's take the running back hits away or say, hey, we want to keep you at wide back, but fuck it, we'll give you $25 million fully guaranteed. They're going to get something done. He's too valuable to not get something done. You can't go replace this guy in the draft. It's not something.
I agree with that.
You know, they're going to get something done. They would. I really think at the very least it would take, like I said, the Jets would have to offer him 10 this year and then their first round pick next year. And I don't even know if that would be enough for the Niners.
So many teams. What, 2 teams who have 2 first round picks this year? The Giants and the
Giants, but
Eagles.
Jets have 2. Jets are 4-10.
Okay.
But you know, that's like everyone keeps saying, like the Packers. Like, I'm sorry, if I'm the 49ers, like 2 first round picks is nice, but 2 first round picks at the end of the first round isn't enough for Deebo Samuel. Like I would need, like he would have to be straight up saying, I'm not coming to anything. Fuck you guys. You know, like they would have to think in their heads that all hope is dead, which they obviously don't. Otherwise, they would be saying, okay, go out and find a team that you like. Because I don't think the Niners.
Go ahead.
I don't think the Niners are the kind of organization. Everything Debo's done for that team, they wouldn't just send them to some bum squad. They would be out there saying, okay, go get permission, pick where you want to go. You know, we'll help you get to where you want to be, and we'll do that. I don't think that this would be a situation where it's like, fuck that guy, you know, you're going to go be a Texan. Sorry. They made the best offer. Like that's what you get, you know, like, you know,
I don't know you wouldn't though. If the guy doesn't want to be there, this isn't about a friendship at this point. It's a business. And those players, do the players do that? Or the players like, oh yeah, you know, give me a huge discount. I'll stay here just because you guys have been so good to me. Players don't fucking do that. So why would the Niners ain't going to fucking do that? The Niners are going to be like, yeah, okay, you want out of here? We're going to take, yeah, guess what? Texans offered us three first rounders.
You quite literally just watched it with Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams. So another poop take by you.
Who? He went to the Dolphins? And you think that's
Tyreek
like
Hill, yes, that was he chose. He had the Jets and the Dolphins on the table.
Yes,
and they said,
because of money.
You decide which one you want to go to.
See, there's a poop take right there. Because Devontae's the one who got to go where he wanted to go. He wanted to be in LA or Vegas. He wanted to be with Derek Carr, wanted to be there. Tyreek Hill wanted money.
Okay, here's another one. So we believe reports, right? We're believing everything. Deshaun Watson literally had his team tell the Cleveland Browns, nope, you guys are out of the race. And then all of a sudden it was
the Browns were the ones who said they were out, weren't they?
No. Deshaun Watson's team told the Browns, hey, you guys are out. You're done. Move on. That's when they started fucking trying to repair things with Baker. And then Deshaun Watson thought about it and said, shit, do I really want to go play in Atlanta or Carolina? Come on down to Cleveland. $46 million a year guaranteed. Fuck it. I'm there.
Yeah, money talks.
I'm telling you, nothing is going to happen.
So that doesn't solidify anything that you've said. All it does is solidify that money talks.
Nothing's going to happen here.
I just love that you think Tyreek Hill was like drooling to go play with Tua. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
He could have went and played with Zach Wilson.
Money.
The Jets were willing to pay him too. The Jets were willing to pay him
between Tua and Zach Wilson.
He literally. Do you not remember how the reports came out? They literally said, "Pick which team you want to go to. Pick which team. You have the Jets and the Dolphins."
Right. If you had to pick between those two, obvious answer. But you're acting like he was just chomping at the bit. If those are your two choices, that's where you're going to go.
He did. So he wanted money, and they said, all right, we'll work out, find a trade partner. Okay, these are the two guys that you work to trade out that are willing to pay you. It's not like the fucking Bucks or the Rams called him up and said, hey, we're going to give you $30 million a year. Shit. And he's like, well, I'll go to the Dolphins.
Right. So they didn't put him in it. They didn't put him in some great situation like you're thinking the Niners are going to do for Debo.
The team let him choose, though. That was your point.
Right. Because they had matching offers. They had matching offers.
No, the Jets offered more than the Dolphins did. The Jets had offers slightly more.
Prove that one to me, and I'll believe it. But either way, I would take a little bit less money and go play for Miami, where you might have a chance to win. And even if you don't, You have a fucking beach right down the street. You're not playing in New Jersey where it's 8 degrees in fucking November, January. That is hot take, Sketty. Hot take right there.
I can't wait till he signs his Niners contract.
Thank you,
It's going to be the best show ever.
Chad chimes in, the Jets or the Dolphins. No one wants to be a Jet. There wasn't much of a choice to be made. Fucking accurate. They're like the bottom of the barrel. They fight the Browns for who has the fucking dumbest organization. Who makes the stupidest decisions? The Jets have been bad for how long?
Well, the Dolphins haven't been good either, but he obviously decided $2 million a year was worth
Dolphins are going above 500 couple of the last few years with Flores.
They scrape to get to right around 500.
It's better than being a Jet
and not make the playoffs. I'd rather just be terrible.
Chad,
rather just watch it down.
Another good point by Chad. No income tax in Florida.
Yep. It doesn't matter.
The crowd seems to think that fucking Debo's a goner, Sketty. Maybe you gotta get some more people in on this bet.
Hold on, let me get some screenshots up here so I know who to talk shit to. Let me do that. Bang. Now I got a list of you guys. Welcome to the archive, boys. Welcome to the archive.
All right, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back and talk about Mike Tyson just being a criminal his entire life. Opening segment, The Buzz, brought to you by Busch Light. Stick around in my hive. They're sponsoring the draft contest that we're going to be doing. Lots of cool gear. I actually have it all sitting right here, but I'm gonna make you guys wait for my hive to see what we got. Be right back in a minute.
Whenever you crack open a Busch Light, the mountains start singing.
It's cold and it's smooth and it's waiting for you.
What is going on?
Hit it, Giant Kenny G.
It's so smooth.
Head for the mountains of Busch Light Beer.
Hi, this is Brian Hagberg, and I wanted to take a moment and tell you about our new website, yourdailylocal.com. Your Daily Local is your new home for news, sports, and events in Warren County and beyond. Our goal is to cover the people, places, events, and happenings that matter to you in a variety of ways, including writing, video, and audio. And the best part? All of our content is available for free. Head to yourdailylocal.com to get the news you need when you need it.
Let's take a look back at this week in sports history.
This week in sports history brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. Mike Tyson. So we're not going to get into the plane incident in this segment. The airplane ass whooping. I like that. That's a good name for it. But because of that, obviously, it made me think about all the times we've mentioned him in sports history because of all the fucking trouble he's been in. One report I read said that he, by the age of 12, had like more than 40 encounters with police.
Yeah, so he was mixed up in some, bad stuff.
So in 1978, he's arrested for purse snatching as a 12-year-old in Brooklyn. And that's when he's sent to the Tryon School for Boys, which is where the boxing starts setting in. So he has some, school instructors there or whatever, and they're trying to channel his energy. Clearly it worked. I mean, he's a fucking bad dude. But the series of fights, and I'm going to scroll through this. There's a ton of them, but I'm just going to highlight some of them, some of which we've talked about in sports history before. But in June 1987, He's accused of striking a male parking lot attendant after he attempted to kiss a female employee at the business he was at. Charged with misdemeanor assault, settles out of court. 1988, real bad year for Iron Mike. He's involved in a fender bender where he damaged a Bentley. Let's see here. He gives he gets in a fender bender. The police show up. This is in New York City, so NYPD 1988. He gives this damaged Bentley to the two policemen who show up. It's a way to try and get out of it. And the idiots fucking took it, so they end up obviously getting fired because you can't do that. Bad move, but good effort on Tyson's part. Fast forward a couple months to August. He breaks a bone in his right hand during an early morning Harlem street brawl with a pro boxer, Mitch Green, which 9 years later he's ordered to pay him $45,000 in restitution for. So he breaks a bone in his hand. God only knows what the hell happened to Mitch Green, but he ended up paying some money out there. September 1988, he drives his BMW into a tree and he's knocked unconscious in what the New York Daily News later reports as a suicide attempt. Still in 1988, we're in October. Police are summoned to Tyson's house in New Jersey after he hurls furniture out the window. That's one we've talked about in the past. Wife Robin Givens flees with her mother, files for divorce 5 days later. They were married like 3 months. And according to Givens, she said it was like the worst 3 months, of her life. 1988, December, he is sued. He's sued twice in 2 days for grabbing and propositioning two different females at a New York nightclub. 1989, he punches another parking attendant. Has a real issue with parking attendants. If I have a parking attendant and I saw Tyson pull in, I'd be like, "Fuck no, man! You park your own
Just
car.
let him do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You park your own. Use the parking garage. This is not happening." 1989 also ticketed for the drag racing incident, which we talked about, and then a week and a half later gets pulled over doing the same thing, racing somebody, ticketed again. Let's see. Tyson, 1991, Tyson is served with $12 million in alimony and paternity suits by Natalie Fears of Los Angeles, but the court ordered a blood test proved Tyson wasn't the father. So that's a good day for him in the midst of all the other shit he's dealing with. March 1992, convicted on one count of rape and 2 counts of deviant sexual conduct against Desiree Washington, who was Miss Black America in 1991. He's sentenced to 10 years in prison. 92, found guilty of DC and threatening a prison guard, added 15 days to his sentence. Go 96, accused of sexual battery by a beautician from Gary, Indiana, at a Chicago nightclub, but the complaint was unfounded, so that was another good day for him. 1997, breaks a rib and punctures a lung when his motorcycle skids off a Connecticut highway. 98, another lawsuit for physical abuse of a woman at a Washington bistro. Jesus.
Starbucks?
I don't know. 1998, pleads no contest to misdemeanor assault for kicking Richard Hardick and punching, I can't even pronounce this guy's name, Abmelek Swasido, following an auto accident. So it's a road rage incident, beats up some people. Violated his probation in 99 for the 92 rape conviction, serves 60 days in jail. Another rape accusation in 2001. Another rape allegation in 2002. Just doesn't seem like a good guy,
Yeah.
However, with that said, still wouldn't talk shit to him on a plane, but we're going to talk about that in the things that sting. But I just wanted to go over some of these. The last one on this list is 2007 faces a 4-count indictment on drug-related charges stemming from a December incident in Scottsdale, Arizona. And it doesn't. This article was actually kind of old. I'm sure some stuff happened between 2007 and now, but yeah, I just wanted to run through some of those because they've been highlighted on here before. And since after Sketty on, we're going to talk about the punch on the plane a little bit and hear your thoughts on it and other people's thoughts on it. And so we're going to move on. Sketty on. This week in sports history brought to you by Your Daily Local. Visit yourdailylocal.com for the news you need when you need it. Going to take a quick break. Be right back.
Hey there, everyone. This is Phil with JP Photography. I know. A photography ad on a sports show? I get it. You're here for sports talk and listening to Joe and Sketty's insane rambling.
Wait, what?
But bear with me for a few. I just want to tell you that JP Photography not only offers wedding photography, but also does events, engagements, headshots, family photos, and even some product photography. Be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Just search for JP Photography or go directly to our website at johnphilphotography.com. That's JONPHIL photography.com.
Hey everyone, it's Sketty, and I want to give a shout out to Rocket Detailing in North Warren. They make it super convenient and easy to have your car detailed. It's a high quality detail at an affordable price. They came and picked up my truck, got all the winter shit off, and dropped it back off looking brand new. You spend so much time driving to work and running errands, why not make your commute a more pleasant one? Contact Rocket Detailing, 814-313-4462 to set up an appointment. Or give their Facebook page a follow if you want to see some shiny cars. Mention Beehive for 10% off your detail.
He's absolute trash.
Sketty on. Let's have a listen to what Sketty is on this week.
0% chance that works.
This week, Sketty on, brought to you by Rocket Detailing, 814-313-4462. Follow them on Facebook, and don't forget to mention us, the Beehive, for 10% off your next detail.
What are we on this week?
We're on Ben Simmons. I'm kind of like out of energy after the Debo thing, but we'll give her a whirl. We'll give her a whirl. So we don't cover the NBA much on this show. But Ben Simmons hasn't played a game the whole season. Sat out with the Sixers because he had mental health issues, which we should take seriously. But he sat all year, gets traded to the Nets, says my mental health issues are gone. I'm going to try and play. Allegedly hurts his back while he's ramping up for the comeback. Sits the whole rest of the season. Now, he was supposed to play tonight in Game 4. They're down 3-0. And he woke up this morning and his back was sore, so he can't play. Now, normally you would say, okay, guy who's going through some mental health stuff. He's got a little back issue. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is the guy has filed a grievance and he wants like $20 million of the money he's owed this year, despite not playing a single fucking game. To me, that's just a bitch move on his part, because what do you want paid for? You couldn't play. You didn't attempt to play. You said you were going through some stuff. Your back's a little sore. It's just a crock of shit, and he's going to be the reason NBA players are going to lose all their guaranteed contracts. When the next CBA comes up, they're going to say, whoa, we're not going to deal with this shit. Why would we pay you to sit the bench? And this has been a common thing that's been in the league for, I don't know, the last 5-10 years now. You got LeBron taking his personal days, all sorts of players. Probably the Spurs started it with their old guys, sitting guys on the road. It's just a bad look for the league. It's a bad look for, I think, athletes across all sports, because when you give someone a fully guaranteed deal, they can do shit like this, especially in this day and age where we have to take mental health a little bit seriouser, or more serious. Seriouser is not a word, I don't think. Who knows? I don't give a shit. Either way, you got to take it a little more seriously. It's a great excuse to fall back on. He looked it up. He said, I don't like anybody in the Sixers organization dealing with this. I want my own guys. So he kind of distanced himself. I think it was just a play to get out of Philly. But just bitch move to not play game 4. You're down 3-0. They went and traded everything to get you. You can't do anything. Just garbage look by a garbage athlete. Guy can't shoot, so screw him. Get out of the league. Send him packing, Brooklyn.
So real quick, Darren is confirming that seriouser is not a word.
And this is why we have a stat guy.
Well, I didn't need a stat guy for that one, but I do appreciate him chiming in and somebody else making fun of me instead of me.
I knew it wasn't a word. I was rambling. That's what happened.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. And you threw the disclaimer out there. You're a little tired after the Debo thing.
I'm a little juiced after
that took a lot of stamina came out the gate on the Debo talk. So.
We should have done things that sting first this week. Give me a little more break. Calm down time.
Yeah, putting Debo up front was a bad idea.
We're fighting through it.
We're going to take coffee breaks.
I got a sore back. I don't know if I can do the rest of the show.
So, yeah, right. Well, I'm going to have to take away your guaranteed, free golf polo. So, no, with you on Ben Simmons, though, I was kind of glancing at some of that stuff last night because all those memes were coming out of him sitting on the bench looking like a bag of Skittles.
Did you see the one where it said that Ben Simmons looks like what Predator sees when he's hunting Schwarzenegger in the woods? It's just everybody else is black. That's a good one.
That is a good one. But yeah, and I don't know why, and maybe this is something we can dive into another time too, but the NBA and its correlation with mental health issues seems to be a lot more prevalent. Like you don't hear of sports with much bigger rosters like the NFL.
Yeah.
And I don't know if, for the NFL, for example, if that's the tough guy mentality that they're too afraid to come out and say some stuff about what's going on inside their head, but
it's possible. I think, another thing with the NBA is smaller roster. More players are recognizable. You're out there, you're not, man, there's no hat, there's no nothing on. People are seeing your face all the time. So, I can get that there's a lot of pressure on these guys. And I just think that Ben Simmons doesn't want to play basketball. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. But don't go and petition the team for your money. Don't go file a grievance with the NBA and say, hey, I still want my $20 million. That's the bad look to me. To go and sit there and say, give me my money. And then you can't even play in a playoff game, like an elimination game. He should have played Saturday night and just, no, I'm not ready. I just think he doesn't want to play basketball. That's all there is to it. He doesn't give a shit about the game.
Well, and he took a pretty solid online lumping after his last Sixers playoff game. So yeah. So real quick in the comments, Logan chiming in says Sketty has the best and most factual rants. Gotta love it. Wow, Logan. Well, that's good because now when the next segment rolls around after the break, Sketty's head's gonna be too big for his camera to pick up.
We'll set it back a little bit. It'll be fine.
Thank you, Logan, for commenting. Darren, Calvin Ridley was the only one to really come forward with issues in the NFL, and that's true. I mean, I don't. It doesn't happen as often, and I could name 3-4 NBA players in the last year where it has happened. So it just seems odd to me, and I don't know what I just wonder if somebody's like deep dove into this and tried to find the root of the problem. What's going on in the NBA that's causing this? More so in other sports. If it's not more so in other sports, is it just the personality differences between an NFL star and an NBA star where, NFL, they do have the tough guy persona that they have to put up. And is that why? Yeah. And Darren, again, MLB and NHL, you never hear about it. You don't. So the only one I can think of in MLB is that dude from the Pirates last year. Remember that extreme golf on the field where he cost him the game by not touching first base? And he was gone a couple days later and playing in Korea. And that was what he cited was the harassment and everything that he took, was a driving force as to why he was there.
it could be one of these deals too, where these guys are just like, maybe it's just more of like, whatever you want to say, Twitter users. Like, I don't know how many NFL guys are on social media. You know, you think with the younger generation, everyone would be doing it, but
just about
like, maybe these just guys just consume stuff more and like don't like,
Yeah.
If you're in the NBA, you were like, it's hard to make the NBA. Not a lot of guys make it. You think about,
right.
Football's tough too, but these guys are all the shit for their whole lives. So if you go to the NBA and you're, but Ben Simmons has a history of this too. He quit on LSU, didn't want to go play the NIT, which, they thought at the time, hey, that's because he wanted to be number 1 overall pick and didn't want to get hurt. Okay, whatever. But like, he's just, I don't know. I don't know.
He's kind of a douche.
Don't like it. Yeah, don't like it.
Yeah. All right, wrap it up.
Oh, this week's Sketty on Sports is brought to you by Rocket Detailing, 814-313-4462. Follow them on Facebook and mention us, The Beehive, for 10% off your next detail.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back with the things that sting.
Jones Pest Control, your hometown pest control company servicing residential and commercial properties in Warren and surrounding areas since 2015. Sean and his crew will work tirelessly to keep your home or business free of insects to rodents and everything in between. Contact Jones Pest Control at 814-230-9548 and set up an appointment today. And remember, ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548.
Checkout means sales and services with 2 locations on Warren's East Side. Their garage at 800 Lexington Avenue not only services cars sold by Means, but has knowledgeable staff and modern state-of-the-art equipment waiting to serve their hometown of Warren. Whatever you need, including alignments, tires, brakes, yearly or enhanced PA inspections, oil changes, and much more. Make your appointment today at 814-723-7191, extension 2.
It's now time for the things that sting. The worst stories in sports, according to Joe.
This edition of the Things That Sting, powered by Jones Pest Control. Ants, spiders, bees, or mice, don't think twice. Call Jones Pest Control, 814-230-9548. Something I was thinking about on the break? It's interesting that we never really discuss NBA, and I almost always have an NBA jersey on.
That is
I
true.
I don't like the NBA at all.
I don't watch. I can't. No.
But 90s NBA I liked.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's just it. 90s NBA guys were tough. They weren't taking breaks because they had a sore
right.
Freaking
so, yeah,
Larry Bird was just toast for years playing through it.
I have like I probably have like 10, I think, NBA jerseys, but they're all guys from the 90s, like Reggie Miller, Muggsy Bogues. This is Chris Mullins, Penny Hardaway, Clarence Weatherspoon. Clarence Weatherspoon.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one.
I did forget to mention Ben Simmons' hot quote, like it was earlier this week or this weekend, I guess, where he said that he has a super high IQ and jumping in to play with KD and Kyrie is going to be no problem for him. No issues at all. Any on-court chemistry. Super high IQ. He knows how they want to play.
Oh.
Yep.
Having never played with them before, he just knows.
Yeah, he has a super high basketball IQ.
Perfect.
He must have just been studying game film for the last year and a half.
Darren says the only jerseys without sleeves, got to show them off. All right, so we're about to get into Tyson, right? But before we do, we're about to get into Tyson's airplane thing. There was a comment up here. I'm trying to find it because it needs to be shown. Right here. So as we get into this, scarier facial feature. Tyson's face tattoo or Sketty's mustache? I think that we're going to put that up this week as a Facebook poll and come back. We're going to
People love the stash, man.
What's the White House lady
Definitely,
always say?
definitely the
Circle
tattoo.
back. We're gonna circle back to that.
Let's circle back. Yeah.
We're gonna, because I do want to know what people do believe is scarier. All right, so Tyson's airplane punch out. Everybody saw the video. Cautiously supporting Tyson. Cautiously. In viewing it, because what the fuck is that guy thinking? Like, what did he think?
He obviously was not thinking.
So he's younger, right? Could we ballpark his age?
It's your job. You tell me. What do you think?
How's it my job?
You're a police officer, aren't you supposed to be able to be like, hey.
Oh yeah, okay,
21.
yeah.
21.
Well, all right. So I'm gonna say he's like 20 to 25 years old.
That's what I was thinking. Early 20s.
So clearly, like, didn't get the memo that, you know, in real life, if you talk shit to somebody who's like not, you know, at a bar when you're being held back by your, you know, nobody wants to fight, like they don't want to fight, but then as soon as their buddies start holding, them back, then they get more aggressive, you know, like, oh, let me at him. Well, you just had a chance. It's like at work when we get somebody handcuffed.
Oh yeah.
And then they want to fight us all of a sudden. Take these cuffs off me. Well, we just why the fuck would we do that? We just got them on you. You could have fought us then. But that's how they are. You know, that's how people do it. It's, you know, they're fine. You get them handcuffed. Then they want to fight you. It's the same thing like at a bar. Two guys bitching back and forth. Friends start separating them. That's when they start reaching over the top, you know, trying to rip a hat off or doing something stupid. It's just it's classic. So I don't know if this guy thought, like, well, there's seats dividing us, so there's no way he can assault me. That didn't.
He was wrong.
Yeah. So let's see, Darren. Tyson legally is not justified. Morally is justified, but he's also a dude with a rough past, so people don't really know how to feel about it. Yeah, you're right. He can't legally punch the guy. But did the guy deserve it? Which is what I'm focusing on. I'm removing the police aspect. It happened out of my jurisdiction, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Way out wherever they even were. Where were they?
I don't remember. I don't know them.
Yeah, I don't know either. But anyways.
Airplane. That's right.
They were on an airplane. But they were like there, right? At their destination.
I think that's, I believe
they weren't in the air.
Yeah. I believe they were on the ground.
Okay. So again, legally, I'm sure he's probably going to get into some sort of trouble for it. This kid will probably sue.
Oh, sure, for sure.
I would imagine. And it'd be a shame if a judge sided with him on it, other than maybe medical bills, because the pain and suffering of listening to him, like, yell all this dumb shit to Mike Tyson. We should all be able to sue him for being a fucking idiot and subjecting everybody to his own, you know, demise. Because it was just ridiculous. And there was something like he was hollering to him, like, let's go party. You should party with me. You're my boss, or something like that. And then, you know, just sitting there stunned with a cut on his head because he just got his ass beat. I mean, sometimes, you know, there's a thing called street justice. And in this case, I would say, you know, street justice was served. The kid
I agree.
Being a pain in the ass. Tyson is a celebrity. Everybody knows him. You know, it's not hard to identify. You know,
giant ass face tattoo. Like, how you mess that?
Yeah. Right. So, I don't know. I'm like I said, cautiously siding with Tyson because the dude fucking deserved it. Leave him alone, you drunk fuck. Like, he's just trying to get to where he's going. He didn't, you know, and from what I read, they were like, he was cool with them at the beginning, like took a picture, did something, you know. And then, you know, at that point, leave him alone. You know, if he engages and it appears he wants to talk to you more, then cool, talk to him more. But if he's once left alone, leave him the fuck alone. It's just not that hard. Not much on this, but there's more protests every home game now. They've had something happen. The cool thing about this one, I didn't get the video screen recorded to play on the show, but if you get a chance to watch the most recent one, so they said they were going to ramp up security. Apparently, they hired some fucking ninjas because this security guard is sitting about 5 feet from this woman. She's in the second row, and she made it through the first row and just past the courtside out of bounds line and is just swallowed up. And then like limp drug off the court. So it's probably the best video of all of them that have happened so far. Also, I read that the owner, Glenn, is selling his portion of the team at the end of the season anyways. Like, it's already been planned. So it's like
I don't know.
his going away protest, because they're probably never going to have an opportunity to get this much coverage. But the thing is they aren't it's just not helping their cause, to my knowledge. Is it bringing awareness that they exist? Sure, but it just makes you get more enemies. Like, I didn't hate them before because I didn't know who Direct Action Everywhere was. Now I hate them because they're being annoying.
Yeah.
Like now,
right, exactly.
Right. I didn't hate them before because I didn't know who they were.
Yep.
So they're just garnering enemies. It seems like a pretty fucking stupid tactic to me, but what do I know? Darren, back to Tyson. The dude has clearly never watched The Hangover. Yeah, he fucked Alan up. He'll do that to you too. All right, where are we at here? This is a good one. Kingston, Massachusetts. A family sues Indian Pond Country Club for trespass over the continual bombardment of golf balls into their home. And they actually won a permanent judgment injunction against the club for all the golf balls. So they show them the image they show of this husband and wife. They have a bucket with like 700 golf balls in it.
Yeah, that's I heard is 700. Yep.
Yeah, so $3.5 million for damages and mental and emotional suffering, with the award total being $4.9 million. They purchased the home in 2017 for $750,000. Important note: the course has been there since 2001. They bought it during the off season of golf. So apparently this is the 15th tee box, and they've had shattered windows, damaged siding. They said it sounds like gunshots often, scares them. Like,
I read the headline. I didn't read that they won. I thought that they were just suing for it. And
no, they won.
I was kind of thinking, okay, see, like, again, I didn't read that far, but I glanced at this and I thought, that's stupid. They've got no chance to win because unless they built the golf course after your home was there.
Right. You would think.
How do you win that? Like, that's part of living on the golf course. Like,
because I think if you cite mental and emotional suffering now, everybody automatically feels like they need to cater to you.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, like, how, like, you bought the house on the golf course. If the golf course was there and you purchased the house, like, sorry, that's your own. Like, if I go buy a house down by the train tracks, can I sue the railroad company and say, oh, this is fucking annoying as shit, man. I can't sleep at night.
Right.
Like, am I going to get a payday for that? Like, that's just ridiculous to me. Now, I will say, they tell you, like, so when we golf out in Arizona, we're usually in these, like, little developments. So, like, there are houses, you know, like, we've hit balls, like, 2 streets over before. Just hope you don't hear any shattering when you hit a bad one out there. But they make a big deal, the courses do, about not going into people's yards. Like, you're not supposed to go in where you can to get people's golf balls. So, like, that I kind of get, but again, how are you going to police that? Build a fence.
Like that house on what would that be? 13 at Blueberry. They have signs up that say, like, no carts in our yard, please. Like, they don't care. And they also have trail cams all over the place. But like, you can go in and find your ball, but like, don't drive your cart in their yard. So they're at least like kind of understanding. But like, I'm just puzzled that you would purchase this house and maybe not ask any questions about, you know, the issues with golf balls, because I'm sure that would be disclosed at some way or another. And then the other thing, they people were like, why don't you move? And they said, Well, because we don't want to subject another family to this.
I just
so they
the world, man.
And then there's conflicting reports between the country club's attorney and the family. Family saying, "Hey, we reached out to try and come to a resolution before we sued them, and they stopped talking to us." And the attorney said, "No, that's not how it went at all." But he didn't get into details either. But just seems kind of fucking crazy to me that those people are now millionaires, which they bought a $750,000 house. So probably not hurting for money to begin with.
Yeah. If you buy, so most of the houses in communities like that, if you're on the golf course, or at least in Arizona anyway, the houses out there in the community my old man's got a place in, like you pay extra to be on the golf course. Like they only have whatever, it's like 3 or 4 different models of homes in this development. If it's on the golf course, I wouldn't even know anymore because it's been so many years since he bought the house, but it was like a significant amount of money increase to be on the golf course. Even though it's the same house, it, stock just ton of thousands and thousands of dollars more to be on the golf course because you kind of get the scenic stuff to it. So it's like, you know what you're paying for.
Yeah. They're about to be the Christian Kirk of homeowners suing country clubs. That's exactly right. Don't deserve the money, but they got it anyways. And Logan says, "You think when you see a golf course that there will be golf balls in your yard?" Yeah, like it's just kind of by default. It doesn't really matter where you're. It's gonna happen. Whether it's a bunch of them from a tee box or whether you're far enough up that you might catch a piece of somebody's second shot here or there. Who knows? But
I've always thought I would never want to live on the golf course like that. Like, okay, it'd be cool. Like you sneak out. It's about dusk. You go out there, a couple beers in you. You maybe play the hole you're living on. Okay, a little fun. But like, what if I want to sit out back and listen to tunes and drink beer all day long? Like, can't do it because I'm on the golf course. Got to keep the music down a little bit, Like, there would be a problem if they were out there blasting music and having a party, causing a ruckus. Somebody would say, "Hey, can't be doing that."
Yeah. Yeah, it's I guess there's some interesting points both ways there. All right. The rundown. 5 stories, 6 because I forgot to type one, but I'm just going to talk about it anyway. So we'll start with that one so I don't forget. Yankees fans throwing trash on the field. Keep in mind, my oath to not make fun of the Yankees is their organization only. Is that correct? I can still trash their fans?
I mean, I think that you should get a special exemption for this because it's nothing the Yankees did. It was some assholes in the crowd. Yeah, you don't know that it was Yankees fans. Maybe there were some Red Sox fans there. We can pretend. Whoever the fans were, that's who you can attack.
Well, how about you speak for me on this one then? You saw the video, right?
Yeah, pure classless move. Pure classless move. Hats off to, I believe it was Stanton and Judge went out there and kind of
then went like this.
Down. Yeah. But just what a classless move by like a bunch of drunk idiots. Like one reason maybe we should think about not having the alcohol at sporting events is because clowns do clown shit. Like bad luck for everyone.
Agreed. North Central Junior College. Josh Phillips hits a bomb. Hits a home run. He's tackled by Weatherford pitcher Owen Woodward. So everybody saw this. This was flying around everywhere. Dude hits a dinger. He's rounding third base. Pitcher sprints off the mound and just spear tackles him.
I did not see this.
You didn't?
No.
Oh, man, this is a good one. Yeah, so he got kicked off the team. And I didn't look, but they were talking about expulsion as well. So, like, he's probably out of the school. But I did see he's definitely kicked off the team. That's Owen Woodward. Yeah, he just sprints off the mound and smokes this guy around in third base. Junior college? That could be a guy maybe I could try and track down. Maybe we could get him on to talk about it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be good.
I'm going to look into that. I'm going to try and stalk these two a little bit. In the legal way, that is. Oakland A's. On the same night their AAA affiliate is playing, the AAA affiliate has a crowd of 5,607 people. Oakland A's attendance that night, 3,748. Woof. Positive note in all of this, because it sounds like they're trying to move. I think
I saw like a meme where it was like your soon-to-be Las Vegas Athletics.
Yeah, it may be. I don't know what their plan is, but it doesn't sound like a commitment is there. I know that the state they've been in talks for stadium rebuilding or a new stadium or whatever for a while now. But anyways, the positive note, the Astros play quite a few games against the A's, and if you watch them on TV, the A's have a section in left field where it's all these just random fans who bring like a snare drum or something, and they just sit there and drum the entire time. No rhythm, no like collectiveness. It's just banging a drum. It's the most fucking annoying thing you will ever hear in your life. You can hear it more when the crowds are smaller, but what I'm hoping is that those are the people who are not coming. So I'll follow up with that when the Astros visit Oakland. I'll be able to say whether it's that way or not. AB releases a rap album and mentions not only his departure, but Tom Brady. Some of the lyrics include, "Sorry I ran off the field, I'm booming. Gotta get my money, I'm booming." That is his line. I'm booming. He likes saying that. Business is booming. Everything's always booming. The Tom Brady one, he says, "Put that shit on. Walk out your bitch life like I walked off the field," or something. AB, why you make the GOAT retire? What's your deal or something? So he said
hot lyric. Eminem, watch out.
Yeah. Maybe he can perform at next year's Super Bowl. Funny part is he records this album, it comes out, and then Brady's back in the league. Something AB will probably never have happened to him. White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson suspended one game. He made 3 errors in 1 inning. And then a Cleveland fan starts heckling from the crowd. He flips him off. I'm going same style with Kyrie Irving. I support it. You should be able to flip off a fan. I don't see the big deal. Fans say way worse shit. This is a gesture versus actual words. Support Tim Anderson. I know. You're still high road guy because they're professionals. I'm past that.
Well, yeah. Well, no, I mean, like, I understand the league suspended him, team suspended him because he is a representative of the organization.
Sure.
You got to be able to deal with that. But like, the league should just look by that and just say, listen, if you're going to heckle, this is what you got coming to you.
You get it back if your feelings get hurt. I don't care.
Yeah,
it's tough shit.
Yeah. It's probably more for the kids than anything. Like, I'm guessing that's who they're trying to protect, the young.
For sure. Yeah.
You know.
And plus, I've been to some games in Cleveland. Their fans are well worth flipping off. They're a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
Number 5, last one. Red Wings Zamboni driver Al Sobotka is fired after 51 years with the team for urinating in a drain that carries the ice runoff because he couldn't get to a restroom in time. Nobody's at the arena. This was not during a game. Yeah. He was out doing his job, had to piss, couldn't make it to. He's 61. Couldn't make it to.
Hey, you gotta go. You gotta
68. Go. He's 68 years old. Couldn't make it to the bathroom. Pisses in a drain. Doesn't affect anything. Doesn't do anything. Somebody sees him, reports him. They fire him. He is filing a wrongful termination lawsuit because he thinks it's because of how old he is. Age discrimination. Yep. So we'll see how that goes. But no one in the building, and the guy takes a piss. I just don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah.
It's not like if it's like an entire section of fans could see him or something.
Oh yeah, yep.
Then maybe I would understand a little bit more. But Darren says A's fans are stating it's a protest against ownership. That's correct. Yeah, somebody said don't come to the games. I'm going to look into that because it's either ownership or the city. One of the two released a statement saying don't come. If they don't want to deal with the stadium stuff, then don't come to the games. And the A's fans are obliging. But so that's it for the things that sting. As far as I know, I think that's it on my list. So we're going to take a quick break, be back with our draft stuff. Going to announce the contest as soon as we get back from the break. It's going to be the first thing we do, show off some of the prizes and get the rules laid out for that, and then do our own little mock. Take a break. Be right back. Blue Line Auto, located at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren, is locally owned and operated and is a family-run business specializing in vehicle sales and service. They offer state and safety inspections and general car repairs, including but not limited to brakes and rotors, tires, oil changes, batteries, starters, and alternators. They also offer vehicle undercoating prior to winter to help keep your vehicle protected. Currently, their hours are Monday through Wednesday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Thursday and Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Call them today to schedule your next appointment at 814-230-9061. Your safety is their goal.
Hi, this is Ryan Klein, the host of the new pop culture podcast, Me, Myself, and Rye. You can find me on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and several other platforms. Special guests, breakaway shows, bonus episodes, cold beers, and a whole lot more. So what are you guys and gals waiting for? Subscribe now to the Me, Myself, and Rye podcast on Spotify or wherever it is that you get your shows and start listening today.
My High, Joe and Sketty's very own world of sports.
My Hive is presented by Blue Line Auto. For all your automotive needs, call Blue Line Auto at 814-230-9061 or stop in at 1606 Pennsylvania Avenue East in Warren. All right. So first things first, the contest. So we're going to do an NFL draft contest. We had to make it as simple as possible because it's just too hard to track, especially in this particular contest. We couldn't go too many picks. So what we're going to do, tonight after the show, I'm going to create a post on the Facebook page. It's going to be posted on there, on Twitter, and on Instagram. What you need to do is first tag somebody in the post who you think might participate. And following that, send a message to the page, whether even the Twitter, the Instagram, whatever. Do not put it in the comments. It will not count if your picks are in the comments. You have to send a message to the page with your top 5 picks in order. So pick 1, pick 2, pick 3, pick 4, pick 5. Who you think is going to go in the top 5. You get 1 point for every player you get correct. Also with that, for the tiebreaker, we need the total number of first-round trades that you predict. If there's none, you don't think there will be any, 0, obviously, and so forth. 1, 2, 3, however many you think there's going to be. If you get your pick in, or you send your picks in with your tiebreaker number, and a trade happens draft. So say, like Sketty brought this up, say tonight you submit your picks, or tomorrow you submit your picks, and then on Wednesday a first round trade happens. That does not count towards your total. It's during the draft. How many during the draft, trade up, move back, nothing before that counts. Okay, so that is only trades that happen. So you need your 5 picks. What players? You don't have to mention a team. You just put what players you think are going in order, and then add a number to it that is your tiebreaker for your prediction of how many first round picks. So with that said, did I say everything? I think I did, right? Predict the top 5 players in order, 1 point per correct answer. Provide the total number of first round trades as a tiebreaker. Tag a friend in the comments before you send your picks in. So tag a friend. Submit your picks. Prizes will be, and this is one size, so if it doesn't fit you, you'll have to give it to somebody else. Busch Light extra large hoodie, a Busch Light hunting backpack, or a backpack for whatever you want it for, but I guess it's for hunting. And Busch Light folding chair. Fishing, whatever you want to use it for. And on top of that, we're going to throw a t-shirt in, a Beehive Sports Podcast t-shirt, a golf towel, and a Beehive Sports Podcast hat. So lots of good prizes to be had. Busch Light sponsoring the contest. So tonight, like I said, after the show, at some point tonight, I'll be putting a post up. Get your picks in. Send them. Make sure you message them to the page. Do not put them in the comments. If somebody does, we'll probably just comment to them and say, hey, we need them sent in message form, because you can edit comments. We have them in messages, then they're locked in. And that way I can screenshot them too, which is my plan, is just to screenshot all of them, put them in a folder so I have them all together. And, then once the first round's complete, we can go through and score everybody. And, so get your picks in. It's going to be a good contest. We had about 15 entries into the NCAA bracket, but there's so many of those. There's not there's not a ton of draft contests, not like there is brackets. So hopefully we get a lot of participation. Tag a friend.
It's a pretty good prize pack.
Yeah, it is a good prize pack. And like I said, tag a friend and, get somebody else in the comments tag that you think might participate, so we get the field even bigger. So that's the goal for the entire contest. So if you have any questions, reach out to me or Sketty or whatever, and we'll be glad to answer them for you. But again, the post will be up tonight. Also, if it comes down to a tie and then a tiebreaker tie, the second tiebreaker is the spinning wheel that we've used in the past. I think we used it for the Napoli's Super Bowl party pack.
Yeah, Napoli's one. Yep.
Yeah, so we'll be using that again. All right, so let's get into the draft. And Sketty and I mock top 5. And Sketty. Oh. Your first pick.
Well, we discussed this before the show, and I wasn't really sure how you wanted to do it. So I'm going to give you my picks as I think they're going to happen. And then after you give your answer, I'll tell you who I think they should take in this spot.
Yep.
My GM, what I would do if I was them. But I think
Sketty on GMs.
Sketty on GMs, yeah. I'm going to go, and I can't believe that this is who they would take, but odds-on favorite right now is Travon Walker, edge from Georgia. I don't love it, but he's been rising up draft boards, shooting up here, since the combine. And I think it's fine. Jacksonville has a lot of needs. You can't really go wrong with an edge rusher. If you think that he's the best one, then take him, but not what I would do.
All right, yeah, and I actually have that's who I have too. Obviously, the odds-on favorite, but I think his build, and I just like his athleticism more than Aiden Hutchinson. So I think that's part of why Aiden slips.
Yeah, but he didn't play outside. He didn't play edge a lot in college. I mean, Hutchinson and Thibodeau both had more snaps at edge than he did. So we'll see. Again, I don't think they're picking the right position. But I would honestly, if I was the Jags, I'd be looking at like Evan Neal or what's the other guy?
Akeem Ekwonu? Yeah,
Ekwonu. Yeah. I'd be looking at one of the tackles because, you just drafted Trevor Lawrence. You already got Josh Allen. So you have an edge threat. Get your rookie quarterback or second-year quarterback some protection.
Yeah, and they just got all those weapons for Lawrence too, so keeping him on his feet is extremely important.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah. So I would go tackle if it was me, but
pick number 2. Who you got the Lions taking?
This actually is who I would take if I were them too. So I'm only going to give it to you once, but Aiden Hutchinson,
so
Michigan
I have
kid,
also.
keeping it home.
Keep in mind. Sorry to interrupt you, but everybody needs to know we didn't compare top 5s before the show, so we're 2 for 2. I have Aiden Hutchinson as well, but go ahead.
Detroit, you got Goff there. Not that I don't know that Goff is the future, but he's still, whatever. Late 20s. Yeah, I don't think any of the quarterbacks in this draft look like home runs to me. At number 2, I would never take a quarterback there. I love taking edge rushers. I love taking tackles early. just because those are the positions that you need. Yes, you still got to hit on your pick, and you got to hope that Hutchinson pans out. But it's the right position. That's how you build a team. I think he's just a Dan Campbell guy, it seems like to me. So, yeah, I would go Hutchinson, and I think that's who they're going to go is Hutchinson.
All right, so we're on pick 3, Texans.
This one, again, the Texans are so freaking bad. This is where I really started hemming and hawing about who I think is going to go. I honestly think it's going to be Evan Neal. Tunsil's only got like this year, and then they have an out after this year. If he's there in 2023, he's going to make a ton of money. So this kind of gives you bookend at tackles for right now. And if you want to let Tunsil walk next year, you can do it. You got a young guy to replace him. But yeah, I have him. I think they're going to take Evan Neal. Not what I would do, but we'll hear your third pick.
I have Ekwonu going to the Texans, and reason being, going back to the quarterback thing, they're in the market for a quarterback. Davis Mills, I don't think is projected to be their guy long term. But there isn't a quarterback worth taking this high by a team who's in their position, their particular position. And I just don't think that they're going to reach. I think some teams will, and I'll get to that at pick 5. But I don't think the Texans will reach. I think that they're content with Davis Mills right now, and they're going to say, okay, we do need to let's get our foundation in place, and we'll look for a quarterback later on.
Yeah, right. I agree. Again, that's why I had Neal instead of Ekwonu. But if I was them, I would go Thibodeau. I would rather have the edge threat at this point because the offense isn't really together. Get yourself a young stub. I like Thibodeau. I thought he would be the number 1 pick, but for whatever reason, he's fallen down draft boards. I think that would be a huge grab.
From what I understand, it's more his attitude is what's making him slip more than anything.
Some people are saying it's cocky, but you're hearing a lot of reports that say forget all that. He's just confident. He knows what he can do. He knows what he's going to do. Yeah. So but that's who I would take if I was picking.
Pick 3. Oh, 4. Never mind. Pick 4.
Pick 4. I actually swapped this. I think the Jets will end up taking Thibodeau.
Okay.
They've already got Mekhi Becton. They put a lot into the line the last few years, so it would make sense to maybe go, with it. If one of the tackles was still there, you could shore that line up for a lot of years, and that would really help Wilson out. But I think you got to help the defense at some point in time, and I think Thibodeau being there, he was the best talent in this draft, up until the combine, maybe midway through the year. So I think you got to go with him.
All right, and number 4, I have Sauce Gardner going. Cincy defensive back, I have him going to the Jets. That's another position that they need help on. This draft has a good amount of talent at that position. I think the defensive backs will start flying off the board a lot earlier than people think in this first round, and that's who I have. The Jets grabbing him out the gate at number 4.
I considered that for my own personal, what I would do is I would take Walker because he's still on the board there. But I thought about going cornerback. Sauce made sense, but I think Stingley's going to fall a little bit. I think there's other guys to be had because they pick again at 10. That's the only reason I said you get your premier talent now. Wait till 10, you get Stingley maybe, and he might be the best corner in this draft. So
Yep. All right, last but not least, number 5.
So in my mock, he's not gone yet, but I think this would be Ekwonu for the Giants. Dable's there, the offensive guy. I really think that they need to shore that line up a little bit. Maybe help Danny Dimes out, stay upright. I just think that you take the tackle here. I think it's a Dable move. Again, they pick at 7, so you can get a corner, you can get someone else. This would be the last of the good linemen there. That's who they should take.
All right, so I got a little creative with this one, and I have the Giants trading back. They hold the 7th pick also.
Yep.
5th and 7th. Actually, I'm getting the draft order up right now, but
they 7th, and then the Panthers are 6th.
Yes. Okay. So here's my train of thought here with the Giants. Joe Schoen's taking over as GM. He has got all his experience and learning under Brandon Beane. One of the things Brandon Beane did when he went to Buffalo was cleaned house of all the shit contracts that Doug Whaley signed and literally traded out of the spot where Patrick Mahomes was taken and took Tre'Davious White later on in the first round. So what I think the Giants are going to look at here, because what I think that Dable wants in New York is their long-term answer at quarterback, the guy who he can have and mold and do what he wants with. He's not, and Dable's smart enough to know you're not finding that in this draft. I don't think that it's going to be there for any of these guys. But there are teams who are in desperation mode. Not only that, but the league has formed everybody to, you got to go get your star power young quarterback. You have to, look at the draft in 2018 that Allen was in, when you have Allen, Lamar, Baker, Darnold, that was a big draft. People were moving around to get picks. That's what Buffalo did, traded up. But what they did in prior years to have that ammunition to move up later was they moved back in the first round. So I could see Joe Schoen moving back for one of those teams who wants to reach for Coral, or Malik Willis is a big one that a lot of people are saying. He's not even ranked in most of the QB rankings. He's not, but as high as number 4. But there's still something about him. He's climbing in draft stock in a lot of places. But off pure ability, he's like the 4th ranked quarterback. But these teams love him. So this could be a position where somebody moves up for that to reach for a quarterback, which I think is a terrible idea, but I could see it happening. Or somebody who really liked Thibodeau sees that he's available at 5, and they're like, holy fuck, he fell that far. We got to go get our guy. So that's a position where I could just see Joe Schoen taking a page out of Brandon Beane's book and saying, let's stockpile some picks for next year and the year following. And then that way, when that quarterback's available that we want, the guy who we know is our guy, we can move right on up to wherever we need to grab him. They're going to have the ammunition to do it. Also with that, I don't think that Dable is convinced that Danny Dimes can't actually pan out at this point, because even Giants owners and leadership in that organization have come out and said, despite how long he's been in the league, the kid hasn't had a fair shake, because he's just had shitbag coaches who use him poorly and they don't capitalize on his strengths. He's a lot more athletic than people give him credit for. He's fast, decent size. I'm not going to say he's like Josh Allen build, but he's tall, athletic, decent arm. I just don't think that Dable's ready to go high on a quarterback, especially this draft of him. I don't think that he's ready to do that for the unknowns that follow all these quarterbacks coming in, as well as you still having Jones on the roster.
So who's your pick? You just said they're going to trade out. Who's getting picked at 5?
I said I just put a quarterback or Thibodeau is who I have.
Quarterback or Thibodeau is your pick.
Yeah,
so
I think that they move up. I didn't commit, no. But we're not doing this for anything other than conversation.
Yeah.
There's no points on the line for us or anything. But I could just see the Giants in that spot saying, hey, we're good, because we still have another pick at 7. Like, we can still get.
Here's where I don't want to say I totally disagree with you. I really don't think we're going to see any trades into the top 5 this year, unless. Man, it would just be hard for me to I can't see somebody liking Malik Willis or one of these quarterbacks enough to come up to get him.
Yeah.
And I don't think if Thibodeau's there, to me, it seems like of the 5 guys we named at some point in time, all of them have potentially been talked about as being the number 1 overall pick.
Right.
The 5 teams in the top, that are picking first, the top 5 teams are all so bad. I don't really see a situation where any of them makes a move. Like, you're going to get a quality player in that top 5, and I think it kind of drops off a little bit after that. I just don't know that they're going to get a sweetheart deal to come up unless somebody's afraid that Carolina is going to take Malik Willis, and they're just like I think it's going to be Malik Willis. I can't see anybody trading up to like 5 to get Corral to get in front of the Panthers.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Now, I could see the Giants making their pick here. Like, again, Thibodeau's on the board. If I'm the Giants, it's a no-brainer. Taking Thibodeau. And then, maybe Carolina takes a quarterback. Maybe they don't. If they do, maybe someone wants to move up to 7 to get, to beat the run at him. Maybe you can move that 7 pick back, or the Jets can move 10 for one of these guys coming up.
Yeah. It's possible. I just with the Giants, for me, it's I think that they're going to stockpile. I think that they're going to want to stockpile.
Well, but what I agree with that, but I think they're more likely to, if I were them anyway, if one of these 5 guys that we've talked about, because I don't think we had anyone else in our top 5. It's not like Sauce Gardner was one that you had in there. Who did you not have in the top 5?
Your other offensive lineman.
You didn't have Evan Neal in there, really?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's that's been all over the board too. Which one's better?
Right. Yeah.
I've actually seen what's the guy's name? Is it Chris Cross? The guy's name's Cross from Mississippi State, the other tackle.
Jump.
I've seen him. Yeah, good reference. I've seen him mocked to the Panthers at 6. So, like, to me, I just think I would take, if there's one of those studs, and even Gardner, man, it would be awful hard if you're the Giants and you can get Thibodeau and Sauce Gardner at 5 and 7. Like,
but the thing is,
I know trading back and getting picks is great, but holy shit, that's a hell of a duo to have.
You have to keep in mind that you have a very, very offensive-minded head coach running the show there now.
Yeah. Yep. Well, that's the only thing. That's why I went with. I think I swapped it around and I had him taking the quantity. I think that's a Dable move. Sure up the line. But yeah, we'll see. It's going to be. I told you when we were going to do this, I wasn't really sure. This top 5 could be all over the place.
I know. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the participation and what people put in, like all the different variations of what it could be. Because I mean, you just never know. It wasn't until draft day in 2018 that we found that the Browns were actually higher on Baker than they were on Darnold.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Yep. And that was
because that was everybody's pick. Everybody thought Darnold was going to Cleveland. There wasn't one person who they might have hoped otherwise, but everybody thought they're probably taking Darnold. Well, and then that morning it comes out, no, sounds like they really love Baker.
That's what makes me think that this Walker kid is going number 1, because the odds all changed. It's been Hutchinson has been the favorite. Vegas changed it this morning to Walker. So somebody knows something there. I feel anyway that, somebody has leaked something. So you don't know. It's just going to be absolutely nuts, I think. I actually read the Jags before we went on. I can't remember how this goes, but the owner, or maybe it's the GM, wants Walker, Peterson wants Aquanu, and ownership wants Hutchinson. So there's like the place is totally divided.
Yeah, so I'm looking at just some of the comments too. We wanted to touch on some of those. Some of those as talking points. I mean, so the couple Raider fans chime in, and one says, "Our pick is Devontae Adams," which is true. I mean, when the Vikings picked Jefferson, the Bills got, they got Stephon Diggs. So yeah, that's the way it rolls. Dwight and other Raider fans hoping that Luke Goedeke, offensive tackle, falls that far, but that to him sounded like it was going to be a stretch. Josh Madigan wants Perion Winfrey for the Browns at pick 44 because that'll be their first pick of the draft.
That'd be good. That'd be good.
Scott Baker, who's a Cowboys fan, wants Tyler Lindenbaum at 24. Ron said, "Damn it, I'm working." Obviously, he wanted to put some thought into this. And then Matt Hopkins, who's an Eagles guy, says, obviously it would depend on who's taken earlier than expected versus who slides. But the Eagles have 2 picks, so if he's the GM, he'd go Lindenbaum at 18, and then would either go linebacker Dean or Lloyd, or if wide receiver London slides that far, him or Burks. So got some Eagles fans chiming in too. And it is a tough thing to do. I know we posed a pretty difficult question.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who's going to be taken, in that realm.
Not many fans of the Jags, Lions, Texans, maybe a couple Jets and Giants fans.
Well, you remember the fan rant. We were trying to find fans of those teams. It wasn't the easiest thing in the world. But
so what about you? What are the Bills picked?
So this is actually an interesting conversation because I had my personal opinion is that they're going to go defensive back, but there's also a lot of talk about Breece Hall and if he's available. And then there was hints in so this isn't who I want. This is just who I'm saying is rumored.
Right.
Then there was, if you watch Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott's press conferences that they just had during OTAs there, it seemed like they have something up their sleeve as far as moving up. I don't know how far. I wouldn't think to top 5 or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they have a guy in mind. And actually, Bean came out and said, we have X amount of guys on our draft board for round 1. If none of them are there, we'll bounce. Like they'll move out of 25 and trade back. Yeah. So it's hard to tell. The thing that I was thinking about, and this is not to sound like Homer fan comment, but it's just the truth. If you look at the Bills roster, it's not going to be, if they have 7 picks, it's not going to be an easy roster for 3 of those guys to make. They're pretty deep. They're pretty deep in most areas, and I think defensive back is where they're have the least depth. Running back, obviously, running back's always a question mark with them, but Singletary started coming around from like week 12 through the playoffs. Singletary played really well. Whether that's something he can pull off for an entire season is yet to be seen. So, but with that said, I think that you can replace, that running back in the third round.
You don't need. I mean, at least at 25, if you take Hall, like you're not in the danger zone of like that's an okay range to take a running back.
Yeah,
if you're going to do it.
But again, I still just don't love first round running backs. I don't know.
I agree.
I still am in that mindset that they're a dime a dozen. And actually, I had Central Court the other day, and Rob Green, the district attorney, I'm talking with him. We always talk football whenever I go down there. And Rob was adamant that the Bills need a running back. They should be taking a running back in the first round. And he disagrees with my point that running backs are a dime a dozen. He said, that's what you need. You need a good running back. And I just disagree with that point. I always have had the stance where getting them too high. And something that I looked at was the top 10 running backs in the NFL. I did all this while we were sitting there talking. Top 10 running backs in the NFL, only 2 of the top 10 were in the playoffs. Now go to wide receiver, top 10 wide receivers in the NFL, 7 of the top 10 were in the playoffs. That's not to say that actually it is to say, I would say that if I'm looking for a receiver, I'm more likely to take one of those much higher than I am a running back, because I just think you can get the same effectiveness out of running backs later on that you can out of these flashy names that were great in college.
You're talking to a 49ers fan who I can't even think of it. Trey Sermon's the highest drafted running back we've had in the last 4 years, and he couldn't see the field. It's literally been undrafted guys and Elijah Mitchell, a 6th round pick. That's who's been our running backs and been one of the better rushing teams in the league. Do it by committee. You get find guys that can play. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't like getting. Now, I've always said it'd be nice to see what an actual stud can do in that offense. If we're getting these guys that no one wants to even draft, imagine what a good guy could do. And we see Trey Sermon can't even see the field.
It's a pass-heavy league. Running backs are primarily used for balance anymore, and that's it.
Yep.
You want one who can catch out of the backfield and can provide you a small spark to the running game to keep the defense off balance, so that you can pass all the fuck over them. Because if the minute they start committing to one, you burn them with the other. I mean, that's just the way the league's offenses have moved, to me, that's what it seems like you're looking at, and it's just the way it is now. The times of smash and dash type dual set backs. You look at like Chris Johnson and Lendell White when they were huge with the by committee smash and dash kind of thing. Like for big yardage games, that doesn't happen anymore. They're both used situationally. The fast guy to create the spark, the smash guy to get you the short yardage first downs, and that's pretty much it. Like it's just.
I think it's now just you just got to keep guys fresh. Like you can't just wear defenses down with one guy anymore. You got to think. There's not many Derrick Henrys in the league.
Right, and that's why I think too, like about the quarterback situation. Although Coral and Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis, they aren't sexy picks like the 2018, which is probably the last really. I'm not going to say really good draft because I think Allen is the best out of that class. Lamar would probably be second. It was hyped to be a fantastic quarterback class. How it's played out, obviously. Go ahead.
I'd say the year before is probably almost better.
My point is that the like buzz in the league right now is you want that really good young quarterback. That's what everybody's after.
Yep.
That's the hot commodity.
Yep.
Not to say it hasn't always been chased the good young quarterbacks, but it just seems now more than ever like people are going to try and polish a piece of shit because they need to get to that. That's what you need to get into the conversation with the Burrows and the Mahomes and the Allens and the Trey Lance coming up. Like all these guys.
You just watch the Niners unload for it and hope that there's another reason I've heard that maybe Debo's upset. He doesn't think Trey Lance has it. Another one for the rumor mill.
Well, that would be like a great conversation for you and Debo to have because you could just salivate over how great Jimmy G is.
Well, yeah, he loves him, but no, I mean, I get it. It's like the Niners don't pick until 61 this year unless something crazy happens in the next 3 days.
But you see my point about the quarterback thing.
You go to get to the quarter. Yeah,
that's why I think there will be some teams who reach for these guys. Regardless, and maybe make a mistake. Maybe it pans out. You never fucking know. That's the thing about the draft. That's great. Is we can sit here and say Kenny Pickett's trash. If you reach for Kenny Pickett, you're an idiot. And then he could go in and become the next Burrow, become the next Allen, the guy who the new young guy in the league that everybody has their eye on. It's just you just never fucking know. But
I was honestly gonna say, and I thought about it hard. I think there's an outside chance the Giants might just take Willis right at 5 and say,
it's
possible.
This is our guy. It is possible.
I mean, crazy shit always happens.
Dable likes strong-armed, mobile quarterbacks, as displayed with Josh Allen. If you have a strong arm and you can run, Dable will maximize your talents. That's
what I'm saying. I think I wouldn't say good chance, but it would not surprise if it happened. I would not be like, "Oh my god, I never saw that coming."
Right? Yeah, same here. Yeah, it wouldn't. Nothing would shock me really at this point. I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this draft's just so fucked that the shock factor can't even set in. Like,
exactly. Yep.
Example: Baker Darnold. The morning that came out and they said that Baker was their guy, not Darnold. That was shock factor for me because I was like, "What?" Like all this time, everybody was under the impression that, Darnold's going to Cleveland. Darnold's going to be a Brown. There's no doubt about it. But it's just crazy. So I think that wraps up this week. You got anything else you need to add or talk about or complain, gripe, anything?
No, I got all my griping out.
You did. I'll give you kudos. You kept a good level of energy after the Debo thing. I thought you were going to go downhill.
I'm going to sleep good. I'm going to sleep good tonight.
You are going to sleep good tonight. All right. Everybody, remember that the audio is uploaded. If you choose not to watch the entire show, if you think that's too difficult, you can just listen. It's available on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Amazon, anywhere you can really think to find the audio. Just search the Beehive Sports Podcast. The episodes are typically up a few hours post-show. Keep in mind the draft contest will be posted at some point tonight. If not, maybe early tomorrow morning. I should get to it tonight, though. I want to thank the sponsors, Swing Juice, Busch Light, Your Daily Local, Rocket Detailing, JP Photography, Mean Sales and Service, Jones Pest Control, Me, Myself, and Rye Podcast, and the Blue Line Auto. The Blue Line Auto? It's just Blue Line Auto.
The Blue Line Auto.
Blue Line Auto.
We're doing good tonight.
We are.
No bloopers.
Well, we're trying not to be too serious or.
Yeah, it's better than serious here. You're doing good.
We don't
doing well.
Keeping this show legit. It ain't trying to be too serious. Yeah. Thank you everybody for listening, chiming in. Everybody in the comments, we appreciate you. Listeners, keep the show interactive. We appreciate that. Till next week. Take care.